One of the interesting things about Dharma is that it exists in time. It is it's for and of people in time, about nothing and beyond all of that.
Doesn't sound like a question. Sounds like a statement of observation, yeah?
What are the misunderstandings that people have about Dharma that disabused of, they can progress more freely?
Dharma is its own time. It's related to the question, are you watching over God, or is God watching over you? Are you watching over Buddha, or is Buddha watching over you? Are you watching over Christ, or is the Christ watching over you? Are you watching over the Master, or is the Master watching over you? So you need to know where you, whatever you are or you is, begins or ends in the process of any kind of, let's say, deeper observational reality. Because Dharma's time is now. It's timelessness. You don't have much time to get there. We better hurry. Because it's already now. True? Yeah. That's what it is. See? So the time that you're talking about is the assumption or illusion of time that people have stretched over, let's say, years and years. Oh, why should I do that now? I have the rest of my life. You hope, you pray, you know, you want. There's no time. Apart from now, there's no time. It's this moment, which never ends, but it's this moment.
Yeah, and musicians end up here. Musicians have an interesting relationship to time, particularly drummers have an interesting relationship to time.
Good point. Why are the drummers interested in this association more so than the other instruments? Right? Because it pertains to and is about the creation or the nullification of time, the destruction of time, or, if you use a better word, the recreation of time. So from the now we can recreate time. That's the point. See, that's the heart of practice, to see what needs to be adjusted and created or recreated. Reborn, see, the rebirth, see, the dying, allowing death to be fact.
But not only drummers, not only musicians show up here, and not only drummers or musicians have a responsibility or need to recreate or destroy or understand even, or relate to in a more functional way, time, their time, world time.
Well, in other words, all heart-beating individuals, all living beings, should have the same kind of urgency relative to time. In fact, they probably do in their own right. In the terms of making their lives better for themselves or for others, including family, let's say. So that means there are changes going on. So that has to do with the creativity that life is already. So it goes to another point I was saying. There's already the time it's created for you. You're talking about blood time then. So you're on blood time until you're on your own time. So you're on mom and dad's time until you're on your own time. When are you on your own time for real? When you choose, or is when you choose being on their time? Death plays a part in this. It's the greatness of death. You have to die in order to be reborn, and maybe after you're reborn a few times, then you might be on your own time.
So what does this have to do with practice? What is practice in this context?
Working with that fact that you're in time is a paradox, but there's no time. And yet, knowing now as the true time, the real time, absolute time, you have to create time. Otherwise, your karma, as given to you by your relatives, or as you have been living it as relative to past karma, is going to continue. Its momentum is established. So, it's machinery. It's water down the stream. It's going. And you have to find a course for yourself that is true to your conclusion and what falls you want to go over. Or fall down from. And into. This is part of the creative life. This is part of the spiritual life. So.
And what would you suggest to somebody who feels like they already know the answers to these questions?
Enjoy them. Entertain them. There's nothing to say to you. If you are content, what's the change? It's letting everybody be who they have to be in their own time and space, according to what they feel they need for themselves. No problem. Interfere in it. Don't interrupt it. Unless there's a need to. Who determines that? People show up here, they need the interruption. Because there's no contracts here. There are no contracts here. See, I'm not hired to be nice for anyone or to anyone. This is not nice. See, the intellect, the wonderful intelligence that we're all born with, appears to know information it has too much of. But that's not realization. That's information. It's water under the bridge. Information. There's too much information now, and less realization. And just talking doesn't turn people around. Enough. Because it's not at that level that people can dramatically change. Can be, but seldom is that the case. Conversation is too casual for most people. It's not catastrophic. Something catastrophic, right, in nature can make a change, and that's not just chitter-chatter. It's not information. So spirituality is about a crisis of direction, a crisis of vibratory rate and level of unfoldment. What casual conversation is going to precipitate that? Yeah. Talk is just talk. Yeah. It's information. It's not revelation. Beyond information. It's not Dharma in the true sense of the word. As either sledgehammer or hatchet. Death. Death. What casual conversation brings death? Come in.
It seems like...
So that exactly, that impulse you have, seems like wonder, it's like awe, is what the Dharma is about. Breathtaking. Now you must do it. Once you hear it, you must do it. Has to be done. It's like falling, free falling. You can only imagine you're going up, depending on how you shape your body. Right? That you're going up, maybe catching the wind, maybe going up, but you're forced by gravity. That means the laws of time, space, energy, and matter to join with the earth. That means to die. Boom. Let go of the body. It's inevitable.
Yeah, there's intellectual knowing, and that doesn't seem to get everybody where they need to go.
It amounts to noise.
Yeah.
It's like being in school. Some of that knowledge can be and needs to be practiced and put to use. But about the spiritual levels, it's hard to put that into practice. When you look at what it is and it disappears right before your eyes, you say, well, I really can't talk about that beyond the point. Right? So then talk is just talk, but you have to have a realization of what it is. And that means profound realization where you feel this catastrophic change. I must do this, and only this. That's the spiritual. There's no choice. Must be this. Because it moves you to be that way. It's not up here in terms of your thinking and thought processes. So that's everyone thinking about everything and nothing, really. Have to be pulled from within, not navigated relative to the without, right? Social. Social is, in many ways, a dead zone. Then when you sit with the Guru, there's nothing happening there. All of your stuff, even your thinking, seems to go somewhere else, right? It collapses, which is what it should be doing. That's lawful. When you have this catastrophic collapse of your self-thought, mind, and world, boom, you're ready for practice.